From late 2006 to 2008, my training and diet were completely under the influence of Serge Nubret. This is something I've spoken about before on my channel, but for anyone who doesn't know or wasn't there to take advantage of the opportunity, Serge actually had a thread on the bodybuilding.com message boards back then. So naturally, I was in there picking his brain on a daily basis for almost 2 years. Everything from the training methods, exercise selections, rest times, nutrition, food sources. He answered it all. Now, Serge did have some extremely unorthodox training and nutrition methods, even for back then in his time. He did things like performing up to 50 sets per workout in a single session, and allegedly was eating up to 800 grams of protein per day. But one thing that many people misunderstood about him is he didn't preach this method to anyone, and he didn't force it down anyone's throat. He simply told everybody what he did and taught everyone his methods for allowing you to find out what works best for your body. And although he did provide sample training routines and nutrition recommendations, these were all designed as guidelines to get you started in the process, understanding how your body responds to training and nutrition methods, and then adjusting accordingly. So the guys that just came in, took the training routine and left, those are the ones that got zero results, and the ones claiming that it's overtraining and that the program just didn't work. But if you actually put in the work, the time and the effort, and ask questions about the process, that's where the real value came in, learning from someone like him. And that was something that I did relentlessly. I asked him question after question, probably to the point that it was annoying. But again, he answered every single one of them. And there's so many things that I learned from him that I still apply today, but right now, there's a few specific ones that really stand out. And the main thing is actually the amount of weight he advised training with in the gym. Serge was a very strong guy. You can find pictures of him all over the internet benching 4 plates. And he would use that super wide grip where he'd have his hands all the way out to the collars. And apparently it's been reported that his best bench press ever was around 500 pounds. But regardless, he almost never trained with more than 2 plates on the bench in the gym. And Serge was always known for doing high volume pump workouts. But remember, 225 pounds is not light. It was just significantly lighter than what he could do for his max bench press. But regardless, his goal wasn't to lift his max weight, but to take a weight that he could comfortably lift for about 20 repetitions and rack up as many quality sets and reps as possible. Up to 6 to 8 sets of 12 repetitions for one single exercise was not uncommon for him. And then he would stack on about 6 exercises per body part per session. Essentially, he was taking a moderate weight and using it as a tool to pump as much blood into the muscle with repeated sets, reps, and exercises. And when I first started training, I couldn't necessarily wrap my head around why he didn't take the approach of just using a heavier weight, doing less total sets, less total reps, but taking them closer to failure. So I asked him. But Serge's response was never black and white, and he used to make you think about the question and come up with your own answer. So when I asked him this question, he told me, "I'm not a powerlifter. I'm not training to lift 500 pounds. I'm training to look like I can lift 500 pounds. I only rest 30 to 45 seconds between sets in the gym. If I was training with 500 pounds, I'd have to rest much longer, and I'm already in the gym 4 to 5 hours a day." Now, Serge was always typing back and forth with broken English, so obviously that's not word for word what he said. But I understood what he was saying. Essentially, Serge was using volume as his primary tool for muscle growth. His goal was to get in as much volume as possible. And if he was lifting too heavy, there's no way he'd be able to get in the amount of sets he wanted to. Now, this method obviously worked for Serge. And I've gone through extensive experiments over the years, testing out what the ideal rep range is, weight, rest time, and total amount of sets per exercise if muscle growth is your goal. And I don't necessarily follow Serge's extreme high volume approach to muscle growth. But one thing I absolutely learned from Serge in regard to this topic is that the higher your volume goes, the more you must manage fatigue, set to set, and workout to workout in order to get this volume in. So if you're constantly trying to max out or take each set to failure, it's going to require much more rest between sets, and it's also going to significantly decrease your performance set to set during that workout. This is all going to reduce your ability to rack up effective training volume each session. In my own training, my programs, and guys that I work with directly, the goal is always to match the intensity of each set with the total volume of that workout session. And there's a time and place for higher volume or lower volume workouts. But in order to perform these high volume workouts, you can't consistently go all out on every single set. And the more total volume you perform, the less intense each set needs to be. But here's the key. You should never drop intensity so low that it makes each individual set ineffective. For most exercises, that usually means 3 to 4 reps from max is the lowest intensity you should perform. And I always suggest for the majority of your training, you should be about 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. with a smaller percentage of sets taken all the way to true muscular failure. Now, to give you something that you can take away from all this and apply to your training right now and see how powerful this method of training actually is, take whatever routine you're following currently, provided you're doing at least 3 to 5 sets per exercise, go perform each set to absolute muscular failure, write down how many reps you got after each set, and then write down the total number of repetitions you got for that entire exercise. If you're performing, let's say, 5 sets of 10 repetitions on the bench, and let's say you can do 225 for 10 reps, and you perform each one of these sets to absolute muscular failure, this is probably what your workout's gonna look like. Set 1, 225 for 10. Set 2, 225 for 8. Set 3, 225 for 7. Set 4, 225 for 5. Set 5, 225 for 6. You got a total of 34 reps, and you're probably cooked. Mentally and physically, you just don't feel like you can do anything productive. And your performance, it's pretty much shot for the day. You induced a ton of fatigue, and you only performed 5 sets. Now, let's say you come back the next week, fresh, and you perform that same workout, but now you're only gonna take each set 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. The workout will likely look like this. Set 1, 225 pounds for 8 reps. You could have easily done more, but you purposely stopped 2 reps short. Set 2, 225 for another set of 8. Set 3, 225 for another set of 8. Now this one's starting to get hard, but you still were able to get 8 repetitions in. Set 4, 225 for 8 with a similar level of fatigue. And then finally, set 5, you can only hit 225 for 7 as fatigue just caught up to you. You feel good, you got a solid pump, but you also feel like you could perform even more work this time. But you also just did 39 reps. 5 more reps than you did previously when you were taking every single set to failure. So now you just performed an average of 1 extra rep for each set, and you still kept 1 to 2 reps in the tank. You just effectively performed more total reps with the same weight, but you also produced less fatigue. And you most likely can go on and perform additional sets this workout, accumulating more volume and producing more muscle growth as a result. See, the key to building muscle is balancing training volume with fatigue. If you could effectively perform more total volume without additional fatigue or even reducing fatigue, you're gonna build much more muscle in the long run, and you're also gonna do it more consistently over time. If you're not already applying these methods, go to the gym and start doing them. Notice how your quality of work will go up, and more importantly, how your fatigue will also start to go down. And if you're looking for a program that was designed specifically to build muscle, using proven old school bodybuilding training methods, I recommend you check out my 5-day mass gain program in the description below. Or if you need customized coaching and you want me to handle all the programming so that all you have to do is execute, check out all my links below. And as always, if you want to see more of the best original bodybuilding content just like this, make sure to hit subscribe.